Hello, and welcome back to the Siege of Liberty. I'm your host, Patrick Henry. Our last investigative report showed how the Mafia was in complete control of your daily life as well as your financial future, and your government and the weather. So we showed how your standard of living is locked in a permanent downward spiral completely out of your control. So this week we're doing a deep dive into how the concept of the double bind has been weaponized to create a mental prison for every American, using freedom of choice as the illusory bars of your cage. 20th century America was a fascinating time and place. It may well have been the peak of human civilization. People finally had the technology and the liberty to experiment on the brains of unwilling and completely unaware test subjects. Modern psychology and sociology flourished. So now enter the double bind. They find out that you can cause paranoid schizophrenia in children when they're constantly put into these no-win situations where either way you lose. So if you do what mom says, then you're disobeying dad. Either way, you're gonna catch a beating, and it drives people insane. So the deep state learns about this, and they just decide, you know what? I bet we could do this to the entire country every election cycle. So now, today, you got the choice, okay? There's this one guy, and you know what? I'll be honest, I like a lot of what he's saying, except for the part where he's growing up with Nazis and spending his adulthood gallivanting with most epic sex predator of all time. You can vote. You can vote for the other team. I really like most of what they're saying until we get to the part about the one who's made an entire career out of throwing people in prison for marijuana in a state where it's legal, and then the other one looks like he's had something fail inside of him and left him totally incapacitated, allowing the drug-addicted, sex-fiend son to seize power and sell state secrets to a pawn shop. Wake up, people! That is what state secrets usually are. They're videos of world leaders smoking crack and banging hookers. They're stored on laptops and pawned for drug money. 99% of the classified documents in the world are not technological secrets or battle plans, high stakes James Bond work. It's the dirt on the dirtiest people around. State secrets. You gotta love them. It's just all the proof of the global elite. The billionaires, the politicians, doing the things they put us in jail for. Meanwhile, they'll call in the army, call in the FBI, call in the death squads just for even questioning, hey, why are they allowed to have cocaine monkeys? Why are they allowed to rig up robot chicken fights? And why is this Epstein guy let out of prison for 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to manage his global sex slave trafficking network? But today, friends, we have discovered the root, the core, the grand delusion upon which the entire despotism is built. In this investigation, we reveal the greatest heist in human history. It is astonishing, and they will not even admit that it happened. They will deny it until the earth swallows them whole. They will tell you it is impossible, that this is the ranting of a lunatic, that everything is under control. They will scream, stop asking questions, stop talking about this. This is a matter of national security. But I will tell you the truth. The vault is empty. Fort Knox is barren. They have no power anymore because they are utterly, completely flat broke. They are the emperors of a phantom kingdom, and all they have left to rule us with are lies. The gold is gone, and the siege is real. We are standing on air, people. They are bankrupt, their vaults are bare, they have no gold, no honor, and no substance left. How do they rule us in this kingdom of financial fantasy? By feeding us illusions, by distracting us with shiny, useless tricks. You want proof of the moral rot? Well, look no further than the latest consumer fraud, the glow-in-the-dark ice lolly. They are selling you a lemon-flavored lie. This is a novelty fit for the hedonist of Ibiza. They give you a frozen stick that glows. It shines with a fake internal light, while the light of liberty fades away. You're so starved for wonder, so distracted by the flickering fake glow of a 77-calorie dessert that you will not look up and see that the Federal Reserve is running on IOUs and empty threats. The gold is gone, the Treasury is a theatrical prop, and your children are distracted by candy that luminesces. We are living in a society that prefers the illusion of a glowing piece of sugar to the solid, verifiable truth of a single ounce of gold. Wake up, we are being played by children. But the question remains, if the gold is gone, who wears the crown of the criminal? Who performed the greatest heist in history? Was it the Rocket Man? Was it JFK? Was it the frogs? Or the man that made the frogs go missing? Well, the answer, my friends, is as old as tyranny itself, the corrupt government. They told you that drugs were illegal so that you won't be naughty. You and I can't have any drugs, but for some reason, the U.S. government needs lots and lots and lots of them. They told you that the gold, the real money, was bad for you. They told you the gold was bad for you. That's why they signed Executive Order 6102 to keep you safe, while the gold went into its grave first. They built this place, Fort Knox, just for this purpose, and just like all the other structures crime has built, it cost a lot more than it was supposed to. And just listen to this, alright? In 1948, over the crime scene itself, a UFO shot down an army pilot, documented in the Mantell incident, and the aliens might have even gotten away with some of the treasure then, but the true conspirators were human. Or at least they wore human skins. Right after they built the place, they started planning for World War II. And who did they bring in for this most important war effort? Well, Lucky Luciano and Harry Anslinger. So we got Luciano, who's the El Chapo of his day, like the fiend Pablo Escobar. And if you wanted your hands on millions of pounds of heroin, you had to go through him. Anslinger was instrumental in the government's decision to stockpile the opiates, enough to keep every man, woman, and child doped up for over a year. And where did they want to keep this stash at? At Fort Knox. Okay, so we had literally one of the biggest drug dealers and pimps of all time with his men in and out of there, the largest stash of human wealth in human history. And what, you think they didn't take any of it? They were in and out of there the whole time. Okay, Roosevelt realized it first back in 43, and you know what, he was probably in on it too. Okay, but then Eisenhower goes in there 10 years later, and he realizes right away, if he keeps looking, he is going to threaten the very stability he is so famous for. But the real proof, the smoking gun that you can go and look at right now, the 70s and 80s were the worst. They did a whole series of audits, and this is the core of the truth, people. It is time to wake up. They never released those audits, and most of them are missing because they lost the gold, and then they lost the paperwork, and then they told you everything is fine, and you believed it. Okay, JFK was going to tell everyone, and that's why I went down in Dallas. Case closed. Send the boys home. The Republic has fallen. It's time to start the rebuild, and here's the kicker. The perfect final betrayal. They got all the heroin too, okay? They swapped it out with flour, just like they did in New York when they stole 400 pounds out of the evidence locker. Just like when they stole JFK brain from the storage room. You know, Clinton finally shut down the program in the 90s. Okay, he was finally like, we can't have the mafia in and out of Fort Knox anymore, and we'll just turn whatever's left into morphine because there's no more need to run the program because all the gold has been substituted because they got it all. Alright? You know what, people? I'm Patrick Henry. We're the last ones left. Never give up the fight. Always ask why. Don't talk to snakes. Don't trust Alex Jones. Don't trust the favors. Don't trust the gold. This has been Siege of Liberty. Thank you and good night.